Hey guys, well, I felt sharing, bringing in some calmness and some peace. Yay! Because a lot of you out there are worrying about this fall and what's coming. So, well, you know the narrative that is going around now, the story. Will this scenario play out or not? We don't know. And we'll see. And it's somewhere in the future and it's not here right now. And the only place we want to be is right here, right now. And we don't want to. Tonia and Marley are saying hi. Yeah, so, okay, the scenario goes that they're gonna launch the Marburg. Well, it's a frequency, they're gonna launch the frequency. And the ones who had the jab will respond to that in an aggressive way, um, and will become like a zombie. So that is what is going out there. Is going is. I just woke up. Is going around now, but it's not something new. In 1994, according to another narrative, another story, in 1994, they used that same frequency on the Hutsis and the Tutsis. Remember that war in Africa? So they never understood why suddenly those tribes started to slaughter each other and became so very, very angry and psychotic. But apparently, it's because of that frequency. But it's not something new. It's ever since the 1950s or 60s. I'm not sure, but there are patterns. You can find them. Also, Lalita shared them many times on her timeline. There are patterns um, for several frequencies that have an effect on humans, on the mind, on the body. And they're like, well, the list is so long and there are so many. And it's been going on. It's not something new, you know. And we're still standing, we're still here. So don't get lost into the fear because it's something that's not here right now. It's something that is in the future and it's a scenario, it's a narrative, and we don't want to attach ourselves to outcomes, to narratives. We don't want to identify. So I got questions about how to deal with that. Well, first of all, don't get into the fear energy. Don't open up your field, you know. Um, be present. Keep your heart light and just observe. Be the observer, detached and observe. Just observe and see what happens from moment to moment. And be that empty mirror, that nothing, centered into your nothing. Not in your mind, in your nothing. Just in your knowing and in your trust. And just what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, if your body can die, well, is that a bad thing? No. It's your ticket out of here. You can go home. Whatever home is for you. For me, the nothing is home. I just love it to be nothing. It's just the best feeling there is. And I don't need a body or a form or a mind. It's enough for me to just, be that it, observing peaceful state. And who knows, maybe somewhere along the line, I'm like, okay, let's get the mind in. And as soon as the mind enters, let's connect to the mind. And then energy takes on form. And then form, energy starts moving. Um, we'll see. So, yeah, and how to deal with that? That was the question. How to deal with everything that is apparently common towards us. Well, you have to know I don't live in the forest anymore. I live in a very small town in the north of the Netherlands, but I have my neighbors. I'm surrounded by neighbors, and they had the jab. So, all of them here. So, and I have interactions with them, of course. So, and I'm observing from my state of nothingness. I'm like this empty mirror. That is why I'm always saying it's so important to detach and come home to self-love. You know, because when you love yourself 100%, you can fully detach. Because you're home in yourself. So there's 100% trust and peace, and you don't need anything outside of you anymore because all is within and you've connected to it. And loneliness is gone, and it's okay, And there's a game out there, and it's playing, and there are characters, and in my case, I have the neighbors. They are reflecting that back to me. So what can you do? Well, I connect to neighbors, and if they have a feeling of frustration or anger, when I have an interaction, a short conversation with them, I'm just observing. I'm fully detached, I'm observing, I'm in my peaceful 0 point state. And I'm like this empty mirror. And when there's a frustration with a neighbor, it cannot, the AI frequency that is working through them in that moment, that is part of that frustration or anger, it cannot, it has nothing in front of them. There's nothing to bounce off from, you could say. There's nothing that can activate it and make it accelerate, make it more. There's only nothing. So I have this neighbor in front of me who is frustrated, and it wants to trigger, it wants to, it wants energy, it wants a frequency back, it wants to accelerate, it wants to become more, but there's nothing. There's nothing in front of that frequency. You understand? Because my English is not perfect, but you know what I mean, I guess. So I'm observing that, and it's just automatically it turns back into a calm frequency, because that AI frequency that is in front of me through the neighbor who is being jabbed, who is in the frustration in that moment, it cannot work with nothing. It needs something. It cannot work with nothing. So there's only that empty mirror in front of that frequency, and that frequency is like, oh, I need, but there's nothing. So what can you do? What can you do in the midst of the crazy scenario that is playing out right now? Just be nothing. Detach, detach, detach. Love yourself. Make sure there is no lack inside yourself. Lack creates separation. Lack opens up your field. Lack pulls you out of your 0 point. Love yourself. Love your belly. I have a little Buddha belly. I love my Buddha belly. I love everything. My teeth are not perfect because, lots of stuff has happened to my teeth. And it's okay. And I don't have all my, it's okay, I don't care. You know, I don't care. I know what I am. I'm just this beautiful observing consciousness. And that's enough. And I have this vessel, you know, with all those programs that are in that vessel. And but they are demagnetized because there is no lack anymore. There's no separation. There's only emptiness. Just so if you find yourself in one moment in a situation like that, don't get into fear. Just breathe yourself into the nothingness. Make sure you stay that empty mirror where everything bounces off from, you could say, you know, because there's nothing for AI to work with. Yeah, so what can you do? I guess that's what you can do. And just be flexible. And if you observe it's getting, the scenarios playing out and you observe it's getting worse or whatever, well, in that moment you decide I go get my backpack and go get my stuff and I just, and you know in that moment where to go. You know exactly where to go. Trust that you know it all. It's all within you. You don't need a savior. You are your own savior. Yeah. So trust that. Yeah. And do things. Tomorrow doesn't exist. Yesterday is gone. It's a cliche, but it's true. There's only now. And so, play with your dogs, your cats, love them. Yeah. Make an artwork, play with your kids, go hiking, go swimming, whatever you need to do to, make your heart light in the midst of this crazy game. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm in the Netherlands, it's one of the centers of the experiment. So we'll see how it's gonna unfold or not. I'm just gonna observe from my nothingness in a peaceful state and just be conscious and flexible. And, well, there's nothing more we can do. Don't let fear enter your field. You know, just observe it, detach, and love yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So, short message from me to you. I'm right there with you. Yeah. Well, bye for now.